Hey everybody, JB here, back with you once again for more CCLP2. It has been a very long day at work, and I am actually kind of a little bit stressed out about something right now, so I figured I can do some stress relief, Chips Challenge style, and play this level, Planet of the Teeth. Fun level, I really enjoyed it a lot. It's not exactly very hard, even though it looks like there's a lot of moving parts and stuff going on here. You just have to keep track of what all that is. In fact, I don't think you even need that red key. You can just teleport up here. And I'll show that to you here in a minute. But yeah, it's a pretty fun level. Whoa, hang on. Yeah, you can just boost backwards through that. But that's Planet of the Teeth, pretty simple. Moving on to Quad Boot, which this is another Dave Borgman level. I feel like I said Dave Borgden in the previous videos, and if that's the case, I think that's incorrect. It's Dave Borgman. So anyway, let's... Oh, wait a minute. Did I... Oh, there are blocks here, right. I forgot about that. Okay, so we got blocks there, so now we can push 4 blocks through. Actually, I think it's just 3 blocks, because we do get some flippers. Let me see. Yeah, we get skates there. No, I'll just go ahead and push blocks toward all of them, and we'll see what happens. And, okay, here we go. We get suction boots first. So, I think the next one is at the bottom, if I remember correctly. And now all the buttons are getting pressed a bunch. Or some button is getting pressed a bunch, and I guess it's to the right, so we'll go to the right next. So this should be the final block. And here we go. Okay, so then we just loop back through here, and we get this, and then finally this. And I don't think we even need the suction boots, come to think of it. Because you can just boost backward through all the force floors in this level. Anyway. Oh. Well, that was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think we can actually go back. Nope. Okay. Let's try that again. That was really monumentally dumb. And you can even see the toggle state from here, too, so... Not my best hour. But we can make it. We can make it. I just gotta get my head in the game here. Alright. So I'm not even going to worry about the suction boots, I'm just going to get 3 of the boots. I think that's why I was originally thinking, oh, there's only 3 boots. Wait, let me go do this one first. And then I'll do this one last. And I'll make sure that I don't have the toggles in the wrong position. And they are in the wrong position, so... I need to hit an odd number of times, like that. Okay. There we go. Made it. Alright, so that's Quad Boots. It's kind of a little strange, especially with all these fireballs circling around here like this. It looks kind of awesome, though, but it is pretty odd. Anyway, Reversi is level 58, and this is another Kyle Whiteman original concept. It's essentially a guessing game maze, where you have to figure out which path to take, and I'm just going by memory here, so I don't know if any of this is right or not, but... The exit is in the lower right, so I'm going to try to generally head that direction whenever I can. And avoid going like all the way to the lower left, like I'm unfortunately doing right there, but thankfully we have an opportunity to escape that and go to the right side, and here we don't have a choice. I do appreciate that in this level you do have limited options, and most of the paths make sense. Like, you know, if you have a choice and one of the choices is go back the way you came from, probably not the right choice. Also, it's deathly quiet here. No buttons being pressed or anything. Kind of spooky. And I think this is it. So yeah, this is basically a walk to the exit. There's nothing really hindering your progress other than just choosing the wrong path and stuff like that. So that's not too bad. And it should just be a simple matter of looping back up to the top and then going down that zigzaggy path right there to the exit. So let's do that and we should be good. So yeah, this is not really one of my favorite levels. I mean, it is kind of a little bit limited as far as what this concept can do, but for the time, and again, this is a qualifier I kind of have to put on a lot of these levels. I mean, for the time, these concepts were pretty original, so I can't really fault them too much. A lot of danger. This is another Rolf Redford level, and one of the most ridiculous levels ever to optimize, especially this opening room with all the random force floors. It is insane to optimize that. And here we have slide delay affecting this paramecium. I don't think we actually need the fire boots here. There's a lot of invalid tile combinations here where there's elements like this water here that's under the chips. And it's because of that you don't need the fire boots, because they're basically just for an area that you want to cover fire from, so nothing particularly threatening about that since you don't actually step on it as it exists without anything else on top of it. So here we go. Oh, okay. Whoa, Walker. Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we got that done. And you'll notice here that there is a chip next to those balls. You don't want to get that because that's going to release that ball right there. And that's the fire I mentioned earlier, that right there. So that's a lot of danger complete. And now on to internal clock. I was about to say infernal clock, but that wouldn't have been correct. This is a really interesting level. It's another Eric Schmidt level. And I gotta admit, it is an interesting idea. And again, another idea that really didn't exist before CCLP2. The whole idea is that there's this fireball cloner that's just cloning things at a pretty regular rate. And I always thought that the fact that fireball comes in like that at that right time is just so perfect. I love that. But yeah, the fact that all of this just kind of happens while you're going around and doing all the item swapping puts this sort of pressure on you to make sure that you get everything done before all the fireballs flood the level and make everything uncontrollable. And this is something that really didn't exist very much at the time this was made. It was just such an interesting concept, and I just realized it's way up there that I need to go to. So let's do it. I may have to end up waiting up here if the fireballs come here, and it looks like they are, so I'm just going to stick here. But yeah, Eric is one of those designers who is very much a pioneer, and I don't say that lightly. Like, he really did kind of introduce the world to difficult levels as a way of life when it came to designing levels. Because, I mean, up to that point, a lot of people just made levels that were just very simple, and there's nothing wrong with levels being reasonably, easy or difficult or whatever. But, I mean, I'm talking about levels where you just basically walk to the exits. And I feel like that's a little unfair. I mean, they weren't all that easy or anything like that. I mean, that's probably not the best way to characterize that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that he really took things to the next level. Like, he really stepped it up. And that's something that's really changed the face of level designing for pretty much the foreseeable future after that. And of course it was right here. I completely forgot about that. But I think the green door guards this whole area there. Here we go. And here we can get all the chips, which is cool. What is nice about this is that the level is very open, so even though all these fireballs are cloning and going all over the place, it is a pretty big place, so you can get out, if you're, in an area and there's fireballs coming toward you. It's not too hard to get out and run away, which is something I really appreciate. I've always just held to the belief that monster dodging in Chip's Challenge is best accomplished, if it's unpredictable, it's best accomplished through open areas, not, really enclosed, tight areas. Mainly because you don't have a lot of space to react in enclosed, tight areas. So I would really, really prefer, open areas whenever possible. And I think that's one reason why I enjoyed Jumping Swarm from the original game so much, is because of that. And whoa, that was very close. I almost died. But we can now go to the exit, which is down over this way. Okay, good. We got it. Oddly enough, there are sockets there, even though there really isn't any reason for them to be there. But we're done. Internal clock is complete. Moving on to Icy Moat. So this is an interesting level because CCLP2 did not have a level that really fit the description of the decade message that came after level 60 that talked about slamming into a blue wall and having the whole maze turn into a thrashathon, I think was the term used. So this level was selected instead. And I gotta admit, out of all the levels in the set, I can't really think of another one that would have really worked because, I mean, these are the only things that are sort of walls, but they can open up. So you could say fake wall applies here as well, even though technically it's, you know, not the exact terminology for a toggle wall. But yeah, it's an interesting case. I mean, for CCLP3 and CCLP1, I tried to make sure there actually was a level that fit the description. I don't know if CCLP4 will have a level like that, but I hope it does, because it always is fun to combine blue elements together, I think. And there are some levels that are in the submission pool that I think fit the description pretty well. So, and they are unique enough to deserve a spot in an official set. So, yeah, I mean, I would not mind seeing a Thrashathon level. And you'll notice that this level is extra chips, which, again, it's something that I really like from a design perspective, is when people put pointless, quote-unquote, things that aren't really pointless. They do serve a purpose, and in this case, they do add to the aesthetic. They don't serve a purpose as far as adding to the gameplay necessarily, but the aesthetic is definitely enhanced by them, and I really like that a lot. Anyway, Chips on the Blocks is level 62. This is another Christian Stahl level. I think his name was Christian Stahl, if I remember correctly. I know that there was a chipster named Christian Durenius, and I want to say that he later revealed his last name to be Stahl, or something that was spelled like that. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it, but I want to say they are the same person, the guy who was on the scoreboards and this designer. This room that we're playing in right now is actually a slight adaptation, or excuse me, an adaptation that's slightly modified of the first room from the game Pokémon, I think is the name of it, which is basically a Sokoban game. And this was the very first level in that game, and instead of water and stuff, there was just a big room full of buttons to put the blocks on. And there wasn't like any sort of shenanigan that you had to work with in order to get the blocks on there. You just had to put them on and stuff, like in just about any order you wanted. So that was pretty cool. Pokémon also served as an adaptation point for Andrew Bennett's level, Sokoban Nightmare 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think is the name of it. He adapted a very, very late level in the game for that level, and it was very difficult. So, yeah, if you ever want to play some custom sets, his custom set is almost certainly one of the most difficult ever. Mainly because it's MS only and involves tons and tons of invalid tiles. So, even if you play with the editor, it is still very difficult. So the rest of this level is pretty simple. You just have this ice slide here. And then you got a guessing game, kind of like the Big Button Quest right there. The good news is I did play this level very recently while optimizing Link's CCLP2, so that does help. And I think it's this one. Nope, it's not that one. Ah! Foiled by a guesswork thing. Oh well. It's still a pretty decent level. I mean, I'm one of these people, you'll notice, I tend to be kind of harsh on different scales, and I know that's not entirely fair, but at least for this set, I am kind of viewing it through nostalgia glasses, even though some of the levels really aren't the greatest. Like I said in the very first video, they are a product of their time. There really weren't a lot of, benchmarks for comparison or anything, so I'm willing to give this set the benefit of the doubt because of that. And, not to mention, there are some fantastic levels in this set. So I don't want to diminish that at all. But overall, this set really inspired a lot of chipsters in the community to start designing, because after it got released, there was pretty much a huge wave of people who were like, oh, they're now making these things. I gotta make my levels in time for CCLP3. And CCLP3 took forever for the voting to get started and all that. And I'll talk more about that when we get to that set. So I do plan to play it and CCLP1. But it was a very interesting time just because of that. We had tons of designers come in, and we had a lot of designers who were dedicating themselves to like exploiting as many bugs as possible in the game. And eventually that kind of died down. I think part of that was CCLP3's release, which was Lynx compatible. And when something's Lynx compatible, you know, you can't really put all those MS-only bugs in it. So I think after that it kind of stopped because everyone was like, okay, we've kind of explored the extent of this for the most part, so there really is no reason to go any further with this. We need to focus on actual gameplay and not just on cheap tricks, so to speak. So I'm thankful for that because I do value actual gameplay. I didn't really need to bump into that, but I would have had to wait there anyway, so. Okay, fourth slide. Not that one. Wait, no, fifth slide! Why did I think it was the fourth one? Wow. Well, I'm going to put that down as one of the most embarrassing moments of the Let's Play right there. That did not need to happen. Anyway, I can pass the time by talking about stuff, so we're all good. You guys aren't bored yet, are you? You guys are having fun, hopefully. If you're having fun, be sure to leave a like on the video. It does help the channel, and it does let me know that this is something you guys like to see. And while I'm on the topic, thank you guys for all the support and comments on the first video. I just uploaded it last night and everything, and it's just been really neat seeing all the comments on that, and just all the encouraging messages and just all that stuff. So thank you so much. I mean, it really means a lot as a content creator. Speaking of content creation, I need to kind of go on a rant about something. Some of you might know, I think I've kind of alluded to this in previous Let's Plays, but I'm a big fan of the show The Amazing Race. I've watched it since pretty much it began. I didn't see the first season until I bought it on DVD, but the second season onward, I watched pretty much live, like all the time. And I was hooked ever since. I love it just because you get to see the world, you get to see places. I mean, I normally don't like reality TV, so to speak, but there's enough reality in it. You know, it's not, you know, banality like The Bachelor or whatever like that I can enjoy it. You know, it's a fun game, and it's a fun competition. You know, you go from leg to leg as you go from location to location and do all these tasks and stuff. Well, anyway, this season of the show, they decided to do a season in which all of the teams, because there's like teams of 2 that compete, have a social media personality, at least one social media personality on board. And the internet, it was kind of ironic that it was the internet at the center of this, but basically the internet was all up in arms over that, and wow. I really need to stop being in a hurry here. But the internet was all up in arms over this, right? I mean, they were just going nuts over the idea that internet stars could be on the show. Now, I understand that, you know, whenever someone who seems to have a following or, you know, seems to have some sort of celebrity status gets to be on TV, there's inherently this sort of factor of, oh, they've already got 15 minutes of fame, why do they need more? But, see, I don't really view it that way, because deep down inside, you know, content creators on YouTube, or, you know, people who do a lot of stuff on Instagram, or, you know, or Vine, or whatever out there, and who, you know, contribute in some way in such a way that a lot of people follow them. I mean, they're normal people. I mean, everyone's a normal person. You can't use this argument of, oh, I want normal people on the show. I mean, they are normal people. And a lot of them have occupations or hobbies or things like that, that if they didn't have the internet, if they didn't have social media, no one would be complaining. I mean, for instance, there was a team this season that was like a professional magician duo. I mean, they're not like, you know, the most famous magicians ever or anything. They're basically just like a how-to do stuff channel on YouTube where they show off magic tricks and stuff. And they're like, I think they're a married couple. And I love them. They were really nice people. At least they looked that way on the show. They looked that way from their YouTube videos. But, if they didn't have YouTube, if they just went on The Amazing Race normally, then no one would be complaining. But because they have a following on YouTube, everyone assumes that they're millionaires. But people on YouTube aren't necessarily millionaires. I mean, there's only a handful of content creators on YouTube, I'd say, that are millionaires. Not the extent that people are thinking. I mean, content creation and, social media and all that is not a lucrative job. I think that we need to get that out of the way. It's not lucrative. So I really wish people would just stop giving people, like us who do stuff online a hard time because, oops, I forgot to get the flippers. Because we're on the internet, therefore we must have it made or something. Like, that's not the case. I mean, we're not any different. We don't do anything different other than the fact that we have a channel and we just like to entertain people. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's the one. Okay, good. Okay, there we go. So now we can go to the end. So yeah, I'm just so mad about stuff like that. It's really silly, and honestly, it was even funnier after a while because one of the things that people started noticing. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. There's bombs underneath a bunch of those, so I was trying to go from memory. Anyway, Jungle is the next level by David Stanley, one of my favorites in the set. Just a bunch of green doors, get to drown some teeth, so fun times. But anyway, one of the things that started happening as the season started airing was that a lot of the people who were racing, who were on the show, doing something, actually responded to comments on the Amazing Race's fan page on Facebook. And, they would say things like, yeah, the show may have painted it this way, but, this happened and they didn't show it, or, just stuff like that. And, when people would be like, oh man, these people aren't normal, people are like, well, yeah, we're normal people. We're people like everyone else, we just happen to be on the internet and stuff. And someone literally said, I wish these people wouldn't come on here and comment. Like, why are they allowed to do that? I'm like, it's a free country, people. I mean, seriously? And this is not good. I keep forgetting if there was a chip that's like way over there. I know there's one like right here, and that's a problem. I should have gotten these first. I'm just gonna go over here for now and just wait for all that to clear up, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, you can't just censor people just because you don't want to hear what they have to say. I mean, oh wow, I did not deserve to get past that. That was, I don't know how I survived that. Anyway, it's just one of those things that has bothered me for a while. It's just internet, trolling and stuff. I mean, if you don't want to hear what someone has to say, then don't hang around in places where, they're going to say stuff to you. But it's like, people are addicted to what makes them upset. Like, it's just so bizarre to watch. Like, people frequent Facebook pages and stuff that make them mad. And I'm like, why do you do that? I mean, why do you waste all this energy on stuff that you're not going to really walk away from feeling good about? I mean, why do you do that? There's no real reason why you need to do that. Anyway, Loopholes, this level is by Dale Bryan. It's pretty simple overall. There's nothing particularly devious about it except for one thing, and that is a monster that's actually going the opposite direction of the others. But yeah, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Like, when you go to some Facebook fan pages, you can see a person there who's hanging around, and you're like, why are you just hanging around here? Like, why are you here if you're never going to agree with anyone? And I've thought about this for a while, and I've come up with a theory. I think people want to feel better about themselves, so they do this. They do this nonsense where, they basically rail against people that make them upset, and they walk away feeling, I feel better about this because I talked with people that validate what I think because they disagree with me. And it's like, that's such negative reinforcement. Like, why are you doing that? I mean, you're basically seeking out approval from other people through disapproval. I mean, doesn't that sound crazy to you guys? I mean, it sounds crazy to me. And maybe I'm alone in this, but okay, here's the chip. There you go. That's the evil one. Yeah, it's basically seeking approval through disapproval. And I just don't understand the appeal of it, other than you want to be a martyr, you want to, fall on this sword, so to speak. Oh, I forgot that was a... Oh my goodness, this episode is not going well. I was hoping to go like 20 levels per video, in case you couldn't tell by the first two videos, and last time that was already starting to just fall apart with the whole Telerooms debacle. And, now with chips on the blocks and this, it's just falling apart even more. I did not have a good day today. I really did not. Oh, I should qualify that. Like, for the most part, the day was actually good. It's just the very end that was rather rough. So it's 2 monsters that go around stuff. Okay. I'm trying not to use keys, but I know I could theoretically use them. Like, there's no real stringent key requirement here. Excuse me. Okay, so this is... There we go. Good. Awesome. Alright, this is going pretty well. I do appreciate that this level seems to have this sort of rhythm going with most of the monsters, where you don't have to really wait as you go to room and stuff. Like that I really appreciate. That's really nice. Especially as an optimizer. Okay, here we go. There we are. That really is kind of evil. Okay, now I just need to find my way in there. I want to say... Okay, yeah, it's only from the left side. And there. Oh, you can go from the top, too. Okay. Anyway, beware of the teeth. Another Christian stall level. At least we didn't die from the guessing game that time. So let's go through here. We have a very low time limit, so let's try to make the most of this. Alright. The area you see there below with the balls and that big ice area, that area is one of those places that can be very, very confusing. Oh, whoops. That was not a good idea. Oops. That was also not a very good idea. Alright. Now, I want to say it's possible that only one of these is actually correct. Let me do the blue one, because I think it's the blue one. And I want to say the other keys are needed for something later. It's the red one. Okay. Okay, maybe it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep going until I know I've cooked the level. Another guessing game. This one? Okay, good. At least I didn't die. Okay, that's just a long path to that wall, so I'm just going to go down here. Okay, yeah, so this area is really open and stuff. And good thing I did not go up that way. Otherwise, that would have been bad. Oh, can't go there. So how do we get out of here then? Ah, okay, I see. No, 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 not that way. Ah. I'm kind of in panic mode right now, so I'm really sorry. It's just, when I don't have much direction, you know, as far as, oh, wow. As far as what's going on, and oh man, this is going to be tight. Isn't it through here? It's through here, isn't it? There's flippers? Where are there flippers? Oh, they're in the... right, they're in that room. My bad. Alright, let's do this again. Hopefully with a little bit less fail. Okay, and this time, remember, it is the red door. That is the necessary one. There we are. Okay, so how in the world do we get to those flippers? I think you go right through the ball area. I think that's how you do it. I could be mistaken, though. Okay, and because why did I do that? Why did I do that? This is just going badly. This is just going badly. I was really excited to come home and record today. I may stop after this because I'm clearly not in a good place. I'm apparently not in a good place right now. I can't play very well. Maybe I just need to go out and run. Just need to go out and run, just burn off all this steam. Because I'm really mad right now. Okay, this time go this way. Go up here. I think it's this one. No, it's the top one. Okay. So it's the top one they had to use. Alright, so that's how that works. Then go through this. So you don't even need any of those other keys, or you use them, or if you use them over in the area over there, then you're not going to cook the level or anything. And we can get out of here. Beware of the Teeth is done. Now, on to Hobgoblins and Chimera, which is a Tired Thalia Ansrath level. This level I love. It is so much fun. I died right there, but it is still a lot of fun. You kind of have to negotiate this multiple monster dodging area with close quarters. And at the same time, there's also these teeth, and there's one of them, I believe, that controls a toggle button. And you really want to watch out for that, because if you don't, then that may be the end for you. And the last chip is here. Whoa! Ah! I'll get it. It's been a while since I've played this in MS, because in Lynx it's completely different the way you optimize this level. But in MS it's pretty much the same old song and dance, and I haven't really done that song and dance for a while. Okay, so there's the button there, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just escape, and we're now on to the One Sensible Chip. This is another Christian stall level, and I think it's my favorite one, and I don't remember which of those blue walls is the right one, so I'm just going to go for the third one. I hope that's right. I think before the next video, I'm just going to review all of the guesswork related stuff and take note of it, because right now I have a level open in the editor that's coming up here really soon that's pretty much all guesswork, and I want to have the map handy for reference so I don't bore you guys to death. And it's not that one, so I think it's the second one. Let's go to the second one. I also don't want to like interrupt the game and go out and do something else to go see the map of the level and switch over and stuff. So just for video's sake, you know. Unless it was just a real emergency. Alright, so this should be the fourth one. Okay, good, that worked. So we need to send these fireballs through the hallway to get to those two bombs you could see there on the right. So let's use one last block here to do that. And push it there. Okay. So the rest of this level is pretty much a maze. There is a pretty exciting section toward the end, but for the most part it's a maze. And a pretty fun maze, too. So we have a glider chase here, but you can trap the glider by pushing the tank back there. So now it's just going to wander around. Alright, so here's the big maze. So we get a blue key here, and then the other path pretty much just leads to the bottom section. And there we can see that we have teeth to deal with. And I want to say there's also a guessing game here too. Alright. Okay, so don't go on that one. Okay. So this... Yeah, I should have gotten the suction boots first. I tried to hold the key back when I saw there was a force floor there, but it didn't time it correctly. And I cooked the level. This is not my day today, is it? This is really not my day. See, one of the things that I was really hoping I could do with Let's Playing, and maybe I'm just having to figure this out and I just haven't gotten there yet, but this is why I'm doing CCLP2 right now, is that I can do like a high profile game later, and when I've kind of got most of this stuff a little bit more or less figured out. But see, the way things used to be is that I would go to work, like back in Texas, I would go to work and my job there was pretty undemanding. Like I was actually having to find things to do. And so when I got home, I would try to channel all this pent-up energy into something like Let's Playing or Chips Challenge Optimizing or something like that. And as a result, one of the things that kind of came about as a result of that was that I would then exhaust myself by doing those things. Now, I mean, that didn't really affect how things went at work or anything like that, because, I mean, again, I didn't have a whole lot going on. But it became a lot easier to just put so much into the LPing process and doing all that stuff and being such a perfectionist about it that it became less fun, like I mentioned. LPing wasn't just something to do for fun, like where you go and record a video and just play a game and have a good time. It became more mature. Well, now I have a job that actually does require a lot, and I'm thankful that it does because I love actually working, you know, when I have a job. Like, I want to make sure that I have a lot to do. I want to make sure that, you know, I can, you know, contribute in some way to whatever I'm doing or in the people I'm working for. So it's really nice because I can do my work and then come home and have a good time at home. So as a result, you know, one of the reasons why it took me a while to get back to LPing, aside from the whole, you know, you got to relax when you're commentating and stuff on your videos, is that I was kind of like, okay, what role is this going to play in my life? Because for a while I was still thinking in, you know, the old paradigm. I was like, okay, I'm still going to, you know, put my all into this. I'm like, I don't have the energy to put my all into this. And I realized I don't have to do that. I can just have fun with it. So I'm trying to adjust to that whole idea of having fun with it. But on a day like today, it's kind of a bit challenging, not going to lie. It really is a bit challenging on a day like today. Anyway, that is the one sensible chip. Madness 2. Oh boy, this level. This level is technically not difficult, but it is a pain to optimize because it requires slide delay exploitation, and now I just realized that that may have been a terrible idea, and yeah, okay. Yeah, it's insane, man. I don't recommend optimizing this level. If you're new to Chips Challenge, I mean, optimize another level. Even Lynx, this level is really difficult to optimize. I'm just going to play it safe and not do anything crazy. And right as I say that, I accidentally cloned another one. But I can ram a block into the wall, which helps. I know I could be doing this a lot faster than what I'm doing right now, but I don't want to rush this. Anyway, this level has a lot of stuff hidden under stuff, which makes it quite interesting. It also has some stuff that's pretty much extraneous. Like there are not a bunch, but there are some chips that you don't need to actually get in this level, which helps somewhat. I really appreciate that. Like those two, I think I'm going to leave. I think you can afford to leave two. So part of the bold route, I think there are two ways to get the bold, if I'm not mistaken, but one method does involve going through and getting that chip that's on the corner, the upper left corner, that gravel area. It involves getting that in a suicide run while the walkers are filling up the room, and that's quite a bit difficult to negotiate. Alright, so now we have everything, but we do need some flippers, I happen to know, for the end, which are right here. There's also some stuff here that you can do. You can get 2 chips there, but we don't need 2 chips, so let's mosey on over to the ending. There we go. Madness 2 complete. So many chips. This is the guessworky level I was alluding to earlier. Not really one of my favorite levels in the world, but let's try it out anyway. We'll see what happens. I do believe we need to go this way. I don't think there is only one correct route to take in this level, because you do get some space at the end where there are extra chips. So if you do happen to take an... Oops, I wasn't looking at the map. Okay, so now that I mentioned that, I think there actually is only one route. So I'm just going to try to follow this the best I can. It is kind of hard to see the traps, though, in the map, since they are kind of that same muted shade. If there's one complaint I have about the Tile World tile set, it is that. This level was also made by Dale Bryan, who is you're going to be seeing here in upcoming installments. He's very good at the whole guesswork thing. And by very good, I mean kind of a little bit irritating about it. And I'm sorry, Dale, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry, but a lot of these levels... Oops, hang on. This way. That was close. That could have ended poorly. But yeah, a lot of these levels just are not fun, but I think one of the biggest reasons why they got into the set is because aesthetically, they were very, very nice. I mean, aesthetics just weren't really that big of a deal except for Tyrthali and Dale, I'd have to say. I mean, Eric definitely had some good aesthetic levels, but I think difficulty was more of his strength. So Many Chips is complete, and on to Killer Spiral, which is another Tyrthali aesthetically crazy level. This one is very simple. It's just dodging gliders as part of this kind of going in and out of this zigzag thing here. It says Killer Spiral, but I don't know if Spiral is a very good name for this layout. So one little trivia tidbit that's kind of fun about this level. I actually built a level that was based on this level. At least the wall structure of this level. It was called Deep Blue Spiral. And looking back on it now, again, I'm not sure why I used the term spiral. I think because I just wanted to reference this. But it was this key and door maze, like a swappy thing, that had blue walls. And good night, it was difficult. Like I consider it one of my worst levels, just because it's very annoying to play. So I'm going to wait for that. I don't want to chance it. But yeah, it's a very, very difficult level. And unfortunately, we have to wait for that glider right there, which makes the bold a lot less than it could have been. The bold, I think, is 220. I could have made it to that spot right before the exit, but I didn't do it. But anyway, that is Killer Spiral done. And in the next video, we're going to take on Mad's Rush 2. So until then, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully the next video will be a little bit better than this one. And I'll catch you then. So see you on the flip side, and take care.